And grandfather, he spoke Spanish and he spoke his native language. So many of us are very proud of our indigenous roots. But I said, until there's a Native American caucus of legislators in Sacramento, which there will be down the road, the Latino Legislative Caucus is proud to be a champion of all Native peoples, all indigenous peoples here at the state capitol. We have a very close relationship, and we're going to continue to have a close relationship for many more years ahead. But we're 22 Latino caucus members, 17 in the Assembly, 5 in the Senate. We have the first ever Senate President of the Senate, Kevin De Leon, the first Latino in 130 years this year. And next January, we will also have the next Speaker of the Assembly, a Latino caucus member, Assemblymember Anthony Rendon also. So it's a very historic time for our Latino caucus, but also for the issues that matter to Native peoples. As was mentioned earlier, I was very proud in 2013 to author legislation that proclaimed September, this month, every year as Native American Heritage Month. And the reason that's important is that California is a state with the largest number of Native Americans than any other state in the country. And with that goes making sure that we're honoring and also passing laws that really uplift our Native communities, have economic prosperity, have educational opportunities, have access to good health care, good roads, all the things that matter to all other working Californians. So I was very proud to author that, but also as the chair of the Assembly Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials Committee, I've also been a champion to protect our water quality. We have a horrible drought that's impacting the lives of so many different people throughout our state that we said we have to make sure that we have safe and clean drinking water for all California, for tribes across the state, for poor rural communities, and places like East Porterville where the water has gone dry. There's no water. The wells there's no water running through their homes to flush toilets, to take showers, to cook food. For us, that's a travesty that in a state so rich and so beautiful like California, that there's poor families that have no running water through their homes. So we're going to continue to do work in those areas as well. But I want to share one last thing. Last year, at this very event, I met a young man. His name was Dahkota Kicking Bear Brown, a remarkable, I think he was 15, 16 years old at the time. And when we met on this side of the Capitol, the south side, and he came up to me as I came to speak, just like I'm doing now a year ago, and he had a petition, and he had asked me, do you want to sign the petition to stop the use of Native Americans as mascots? He said, we're people, we're not mascots. And I said, you're the perfect person that I could have met, because I just carried a resolution in 2014 that called out to the Washington NFL team to also change the name of their football team and stop using the R word. And it was approved last year by the California Senate, by the California Assembly. But when I met this young man, I said, we're also going to make sure that our schools, our public schools in California, are also not using that racial slur of a mascot, the R word, that's derogatory, that's discriminatory against Native peoples here in our state. I said, that was a relic of the past. Next year is the time for us to get this bill to the governor and have it signed into law and be the first state in California that will phase out the use of the R word as a mascot in California public schools. I want to invite him to come up because he came to every hearing, the Education Policy Committee, the Assembly Appropriations. He came to the Senate Education Committee, the Senate Appropriations, every step of the way. But this bill was vetoed previously by Governor Schwarzenegger, but it's never come before Governor Jerry Brown. And with the help of this remarkable young man who sounded like a university professor, a true scholar, and breaking down the history of Native peoples here in the Sacramento Valley for the Native peoples, I wanted to ask him to come up and also share a few words. The person who helped me get AB 30, the California Racial Mascots Act, to end the use of the R word in our California public schools. Give it up, everybody, for Dahkota Kicking Bear Brown, everybody.
Machuksus, Kuchaema, Kameo Yase, Dahkota Brown. Hello, everybody. My name is Dahkota Brown. I am Miwok from the Wilton Rancheria. Like Assemblymember Alejo was saying, last year, this same time, I met Assemblymember Alejo right here at the Capitol asking for signatures on a petition to ban Native mascots. And that moment when I met Assemblymember Alejo was a huge turning point in my life because he has helped introduce me to the legislative process and working within, our capital and government. And, I can't thank you enough. And I can't thank the California Senate and Assembly enough for, passing AB 30 with bipartisan support. And right now it's on the governor's desk, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that he will sign off on this, historic bill so that California can, really lead the rest of the nation as an example to change these racist mascots. And real quick, I just want to thank all of the elders and everybody who have been fighting Native mascots before, I was even born. My aunties, my family, all of them have been a part of this fight for, over 60 years. And I can't thank all of you enough. So thank you, Okasi.
I'll tell you, when he spoke in committees, all the lobbyists here in Sacramento, other legislators said he was so remarkable, he's so eloquent and so respectful. All his elders, all his mentors have taught this young man so well. I hope that one day, Dahkota Kicking Bear Brown will not only be an activist like he is now, that one day he'll be a state senator or assembly member passing good laws for all Native peoples. But it starts somewhere. The 16-year-old, it starts somewhere. And I was really glad to work with him. But again, we're asking for your help, calling on to the governor to sign AB 30 into law. We would be the first state in the country. We would set the example and show respect for all Native peoples in our schools to make sure they're in a hostile environment. But I like to tell people this is part of a larger movement.